while, but we are back.
It's been a while.
Oh yeah.
That's all you're getting. That's all you're getting from
You
me.
hit that note pretty good. I like it. I like it. It's been a while.
We're in the wrong business. We gotta just
I
let's start
swear.
EP.
Start, padding this room for my first album. But we took a little break because it was con season, and yeah, we don't go to a lot of cons yet.
Yet.
But
Oh.
we went to BlurCon. Went there, did some stuff, met some people, learned some stuff. It was fun. All in all, I enjoyed it a lot.
Our boy killed it. You killed it, man. You did a great job, like covering all that stuff. Even with you telling me you were nervous about it, you still killed it.
Yeah, it was all nerves. So like sometimes when I'm super nervous, I'm like ultra productive.
No, I get that feeling.
Especially in settings like that. It was amazing. Like it was like when I first got there, I walked around, was like amazed by the entire scene. And then like it got weird, like a little emotional for a second, because like I was around all these Black professionals, and it was just very inspiring and just like,
hey man,
it was love to see. I was like, oh man, this is where we're supposed to be. These are people I've been looking for.
I mean, yeah, I can only imagine. It's probably that same feeling I get when we do this, and I'm like, I'm home.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I'm with my people.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I just took out the camera and was like, let me like look like I'm supposed to be here, or like I know what I'm doing. And I got some good pictures, met some cool people, met the Blurred Station crew, which was awesome. Blurred's Eye View, Noir Neon Vibes, Three Black Geeks, all those guys were cool. Blurred Over,
Yes.
Michael Blair, Blurred Over. I met him. He was cool as hell. He was on the interview that we did, and then he helped co-host the entire hour of the A&E block, which was really cool. He was just supposed to be there for 20 minutes for the What Is Your Nerd interview, but he ended up doing the whole thing, which was dope. Because, like I said, your boy was nervous.
Well, and like I couldn't have told you that. Like until you said something about it, I truly wouldn't have even noticed. Especially when you were doing especially with that little cop skit that you guys did.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious. I was just asking for a picture, and he was like, "You want a video?" I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, you're being kind of aggressive about it, but yeah.
Oh yeah, I was like, "Do you want the video?" Nah, but he's a hit. Apparently, he's always in some crazy cosplay. That's one of his most popular ones. So he did a bunch of pictures and videos with people. So it was cool. And then the one interview I did that I really enjoyed, everybody I talked to, and that helped me out. But Mr. Corey's face painting. That was cool. It was like the last day of the con. First thing in the morning, all the vendors outside getting set up, and I was like, let me talk to one of these vendors. Yeah, right. And he's just sitting there doing it by himself. So I went up. I was like, "Hey, can I record you while you're doing that?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure, go ahead." And then I asked him if he could do a little 5-minute interview, and he was like, "I'd love to." And so we did that, and eventually he's gonna come on the What's Your Nerd podcast and do an actual What's Your Nerd interview, and we can get to know him even more because he's been doing it for 20 years. Apparently, like the face painting community is kind of like the magicians community. Like it's this whole society. Like he's like one of the few male black face painters, in the industry. He's taught classes overseas, like in Ireland and things like that. I was like, wait, this is just like it's like being a chef or a magician. Like you have your own like community and like it's very serious.
Yeah.
And it was like cool to talk to him. So and if you guys hadn't checked out the interview, go to YouTube or YouTube page, subscribe to all your nerd or all your nerd.
It's same.
all nerd everything on YouTube, and check out the interview I did with Mr. Corey's face painting, and check out all the things we did for BlurredCon, and go to BlurredCon YouTube page and check out the 3-day extravaganza marathon, where they covered the entire con, because it was sponsored by Blurred Station. So, go to Blurred Station, subscribe there, check them out. Go to BlurredCon, subscribe there, check them out. Go to BlurredCon next year and see us. We'll all have a great time because BlurredCon was amazing.
Like, hey, do it.
Yeah, I mean, next year we're going to be there full force, fully professional, have our own little spot. We're going to have our banners, we're going to have our merchandise, we're going to have our stream going, and we're going to have the crew there.
Oh, yeah. I'm not missing out again.
Like if he says, sorry, Corey, I couldn't make it, I'm just going to be like, oh, cool. I got you. It's all good, man. Then, like, he's going to get kidnapped that night.
Oh, yeah.
Fly to Wisconsin.
I'm going to wake up in North Carolina.
Well, you're going to wake up in Virginia.
Close enough.
That's where Blur got.
Yep, that works.
But
oh man,
welcome to the Nerdcast Podcast. As Marshall swipes away a gnat, fly, or whatever that was flying in his house.
Fucking mosquito.
Ooh, even
little bastards. Dude, I love summer and spring, but I also hate it because these little shits come out and just ruin everything.
Oh yeah, you get all that snow, so you get beautiful grass in the spring and summer, but it's real moist. The moisture in the land is saturated, so you get those bugs a lot more than others sometimes.
And let me tell you, they're not welcome. I don't want them here.
But how you been, Wisconsin?
Dude, it's been good. It's been good. I think probably biggest highlight would have to be finally seeing Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yes.
Like that movie was everything I wanted it to be. Hell, even a little bit more, because like, not that I was thinking it was going to be like rough, like going into the movie by any means, because I just have a lot of confidence with Ryan Reynolds and how he handles Deadpool, because he pretty much is like, I am Deadpool, so this is gonna go my way. But yeah, man, I truly loved it. I loved the Logans that they picked out for when he's jumping through the portals, because I laughed so hard when they had like the comic book accurate height Wolverine.
That was amazing. He was like, no, that looks like our guy. He gets off the bar stool.
Oh my god! And also just the whole theater busting out laughing too.
Why did they give him the Oompa Loompa voice? Like they didn't have to do that. They didn't have to do. Oh, rewind. This is spoilers. So those of you guys,
oh yeah, that's true.
I hadn't seen it yet. We're going to talk about Deadpool 3 because I saw it Sunday. Wisconsin Johnson saw it on Sunday. We're going to talk about it today.
Yeah,
I can't contain it any longer. Like,
but also, it's been out. It's been out for like a week. So,
I mean, that's not a lot of time. Trust me. When you have kids, you're like, oh, it's coming out on what was it? The 27th.
It came out last Wednesday.
It's coming out July 27th. Okay, so we're gonna go see it August 28th. Like, it's just kind of how like I probably don't like it's. I'm probably gonna go see it then. There are some
Well, you
people that have to plan it like that, and like me, I do that stuff all the time because I'm really good at avoiding spoilers. Very good at it. Like I won't get on social media unless it's to post
do
on
this, yeah.
A&E just to avoid any spoilers of what I'm trying to see. And I'm not even a big person on
Mm.
like don't spoil the movie, but sometimes I just like, I got to see this one first.
Well, I mean, you could be like some of the people that were at the theater that brought all their kids with them.
Oh yeah.
And dude, let me tell you that movie, no, that
Look,
there
man,
was some shit in
I
there.
am a big fan of just letting my kids, watch some shit. Watch
No.
some shit. Like we watch anime.
There's a
Sometimes there's
lot in
some shit.
anime.
Sometimes there's some shit. Like sometimes I'm like, it looks fine. I'm not gonna pre-vet this one. And then again, fast
That's
forward or turn it off. But
no surprise.
Deadpool, I was pretty strict on. I have two Deadpool tattoos on my back. So like my son knew who Deadpool was at a very young age, and
Mhm.
still to this day begs me to watch it. Still has not, but I actually ordered the Once Upon a Deadpool on Amazon.
Oh,
Should be
nice.
here this week, which is the PG-13 version with Fred Savage. So
Yeah.
it was the Christmas special they did for they re-edited the entire movie for those who want to share Deadpool with your kids.
There you go.
It's very, very entertaining, very, very funny. Especially when they have to edit the parts out. It's like they don't really edit it out. They just like transition to the scene where he's reading the story to Fred Savage while he's tied up
Right.
in his bed for a Christmas time bedtime story.
Like, yeah, and like I feel like Deadpool is really like one of those like anti-heroes, heroes, whatever you really want to call him. He's just he's too fun to not be able to show to like a teenager. It's because like I understand you're worried about influencing them and stuff like that, but also at the same time, we grew up in the 90s. That was way worse.
well, see, that's the thing. Like the key word you said was teenager. So like, don't worry.
Yeah.
As a parent, you will not influence your teenager. They don't want to be anything like you. Trust me,
Yeah.
my daughter's 11 and it just started like last year. Like nothing we like, she no longer likes if she did. Maybe
Yep.
Stranger Things. Like she still, we're gonna watch that together.
I have not kept up on that.
Some things. Well, you haven't seen the fourth season?
Fuck no.
Oh my god! So you got things to do. I'm
Yeah,
jealous.
apparently I
I'm ashamed of you and jealous of you at the same time. But
welcome. Hey,
well, so is life. You just got things to do. Sometimes you got to watch something else. You read different books.
sure.
We get caught up in things.
Right.
But yeah, no.
But circling back,
Yes,
circling
yes.
back.
We can do that though. Deadpool and Wolverine, straight up from the very beginning, just like the last one. The the fight scene, the action scene that took off. Excuse me. They pretty much did a Deadpool video of NSYNC's Bye Bye Bye.
Yeah. And fantastic.
And
Watching him use Logan's body.
that was just, I mean, you kind of knew it was gonna happen. You're like, okay. He's got adamantium bones right there by his feet, and people, action scenes about to ensue.
And he doesn't always have all the bullets he needs. So he has to
Well,
make use of what's there.
yeah, he likes to conserve.
Mhm.
He's all about efficiency. So that they kicked it off very good, especially with that scene, and then like they do with the rewind, and then tells you the story.
Mhm.
What was your favorite scene? I know it's hard to pick. Just pick a scene that was one of your favorites.
Uh, you know, I think it's it's like a tie probably between two or three scenes. Um, but I think the one that stands out the most to me is the Honda Odyssey fight.
That's so funny. I'm glad you said it because I was gonna bring it up later. I was
No,
gonna say, what was the hotter scene, the steamier, sexier scene? Rose and Jack in the car on Titanic, or
ooh,
Logan and Wade in the car in Deadpool 3.
oh, yeah. Man, that was actually tough. You know what? Fuck Titanic. But
That's literally all I could think about while watching it. I was like, I know they're fighting, but I feel like they are literally just making fun of the Titanic scene or just like
yeah, at that point you're
spoofing
like,
it with action.
but then yeah, then after that one, I would have to say it was between seeing two of the other Wolverine variants while he was like hunting down for like the prime Wolverine or Logan. And I think
The Logan search montage.
yep, and I think probably with those it would have to be the the timeline or the world where he's known as Weapon X versus like Logan or Wolverine, and
Oh, from
it's
the
like
Origins
the
movie.
Age of Apocalypse actually,
Oh yeah.
where he has like his hand cut off by Cyclops and Jean basically becomes his like mental caretaker, but then they both end up dying. So then he's just truly Weapon X, full on like animal. It was really cool to see that because
Oh
that
yeah.
was probably one of my more favorite like comics or like variants of him to go into. And then also seeing the scene where he's up on like the X like cross and all those skulls around him. And then Deadpool just walks in, he's like, oh no, God no.
I feel like I'm not sure because like I always always tell it people. I wasn't the biggest comic book buff. I loved them, but it just wasn't what my parents wanted
Yeah,
to buy me all the time. So yeah, I feel like that scene is from a specific comic.
yeah, 100% is. I can't think of what it is off the top of my head.
Yeah,
Um,
it just looks very familiar. When I saw it, I was like, I know this.
yeah, hold on, which one is that?
Now, the Logan search montage, one of my favorite scenes.
Hmm.
Uh, it's probably not a favorite scene, but some of my favorite scenes was the one with no. My one of my favorite scenes was the Deadpool's,
Oh my God, the like 100
but
Deadpools that walk out.
and then when he's like, he's totally about to get it, and then his Peter comes in,
Yeah.
and they're all like,
Peter!
"It's Peter, guys!"
We all have a
That
Peter.
that was hilarious. And then like I would say the scene I laughed the hardest at, I think, was the predatorial Taylor.
Your Taylor's amazing, but he's a predator.
He is 100% a predator.
He was literally just slapping ass and grabbing his package.
I was like, I was like, two times is excessive, and then he continued to do it a few more
It
times.
was like 8 times.
Several.
Several times. But also when he calls out the worker that was down on like the like desk area, and he's
And
like,
he was like,
"Who are
about
you
to,
calling? Your wife? No, I'm calling HR. Is that where your wife?"
I'm calling HR. He's like about to fall on him.
Yeah, the music changes. He's like, "I want this."
I mean, oh man. Reynolds has successfully made the three best movies in
Yeah,
Marvel and action history, which is Deadpool 1, Deadpool 2, and Deadpool and Wolverine.
yeah,
Which
he's knocked it up.
they should have just kept the name Deadpool versus Wolverine and put it in quotes because it wasn't Deadpool and Wolverine. They definitely were fighting. 91% of the movie.
Yep. Yeah, God, yes. This thing, and I just like that overall relationship of obviously like Ryan and Hugh are real tight in like real life, but like watching that relationship change to probably what they really want it to be like is just so perfect.
And then just like the cameos.
Mm.
Oh my goodness. It was just amazing that everybody in there,
I
uh Blade. I can't believe they actually were
yeah, I was
able to get
surprised Wesley
Wesley
Snipes was
Snipes
there.
as Blade, and then he referenced it fourth wall like a motherfucker.
There's only one. I'm gonna be the only Blade. Deadpool turns to the camera. Like, well, shit.
Dude, I watched the interview with the Wesley Snipes,
Mm.
and he was talking about it. He's like, Ryan Reynolds calls me. I ain't talked to this motherfucker in like 20 years. Ryan Reynolds calls you, you answer the phone and see what's up. And then he asked him about it, and he's like, I mean, like totally didn't take it seriously. It's just like I don't see how that's gonna happen, but make it happen. Let's do it. I
And
was
like,
like, I was like,
and
this is
also
amazing.
just the references, like when they see Blade for the first time, and they bring up references to the Blade 3 movie, which I forget Ryan Reynolds is in that movie
Hmm.
until they
Every
started
time someone
talking. I
says
was like,
that, it's when I
oh
remember it.
yeah, like I'm like, oh, that's right. But then God, also the Canadian Deadpool, I think was just too funny.
That
Like,
was great.
just the best way for
That
Ryan
was
Reynolds to make
great.
fun of himself.
I really love that part, that entire sequence, each one of them, especially the last one, one of the
Mhm.
last ones where he was like, "It's like, where's your mask?" He's like, "What?
What?
Your
Look,
mask?" He's like, "You don't wear a
look,
mask?" He's like,
like, come on, guys, look at this. And then when he uses him as like a human shield, he's like, "How fast do you regenerate?" What do you mean regenerate?
"Regenerate?
It's like they're like, "Oh no!"
Oh no!" And then that part, he's just like standing there. He's like, "Why did you stop?" I love it.
But
I
oh my
love
God.
the movie.
But I think the cameo that probably got me the hardest, or like I probably laughed the hardest at, was when Chris Evans showed up, and like he's holding his arms out, and it's literally
No,
like the
that
Captain America like colors on his arms, and
the
you're like,
entire Chris Evans thing in this movie was no, that was my favorite
that,
part. No
that
lie.
was too
Like each
good.
one when he fucking fell and landed on his neck, I was like, I don't understand how I was the only person and loudest person in that theater at that moment.
That
But
was so
I
good.
could not contain the laughter. It was so funny. Just the way he hit that thing. I was like, oh my God.
It's just like I was I was just like, oh my God, like they really are hitting like on these forgotten Marvel like things like real hard right away.
They're killing it.
The-
They killed it.
God,
They
that
definitely killed it.
God, that was
Yeah.
yeah, that was too good. And
No.
also when Logan like actually put on the fucking like cowl, I was like,
Oh yeah. I was like,
I'm like,
yeah.
yeah. I was like, okay,
Dude,
yes.
I had a boring theater. Don't get me wrong. I kind of can't stand it when people like clap in a theater and
Oh
like
yeah.
do a little bit too much. But like for something like that, that's like near and dear to our hearts, it's
Mhm.
like you don't mind when people lets out these noises or like does something like that part. Nothing. I was the only one. I was like, yeah.
Really?
I was
Yeah,
like,
that's
what is?
wild.
I was like, is this everybody's like fourth time seeing this?
Yeah,
I
like
mean, it
what
was
like
insanely empty. It was weird,
oh, that is odd.
but we loved it. But it was oddly quiet for people
Hmm.
that went to go see Deadpool
Yeah, right. Well,
the
because
first week.
I went, Tanae and I went with her sister and her husband and his dad, because his dad is also a big Marvel fan.
Nice.
And our theater was pretty packed.
Yeah, I mean, I
I'm
assumed every
bitter.
theater would be for like the first 2 weeks.
I'm bitter at the theater because uh Tanae ordered wings, like boneless wings, and they only gave us like 4 or 5 of them. And I was like, what the fuck? It's
They were running low and trying to conserve. We've been there before.
yeah. Were they though? Were they?
I mean,
They
as a
probably
movie
were.
theater, it's like you probably shouldn't be running low on anything, right?
Especially when you know this movie's gonna be big.
Yeah, exactly.
But
And what? Go ahead.
no, yeah, like yeah, no, like when Chris Evans showed up, everyone was like, "What?" And then as soon as Blade showed up, everyone was like, "Oh my God."
I mean, that was bonkers. I was like, did you guys see this movie? You guys just like, oh, everyone expected Blade. Okay, whatever. I'm just the
Yeah,
ass. But
yeah.
whatever.
Well, and also like hell, even Elektra got cheers.
That was great. She actually got some reaction in our theater, and I was like, okay, maybe y'all didn't see this, but
And I love the little stab at Ben Affleck when they're like, "Oh yeah, Daredevil died," and Deadpool's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And Jennifer Garner's character Elektra is just like, "It's fine."
I was like,
Yes,
ouch.
yeah, it's like fun fact. By the way, people looking and people watching, if you don't know this, they hate each other.
It was really funny to see her
Hmm.
like admit it on air and like say it like that in a movie. That was great. Oh man.
It's
But
fine.
Deadpool was the sixth highest grossing opening day movie of all time with
Six highest group.
yeah, I was like, ooh man, I am so sorry guys. I did not mean to paint you in that light. Let's start this over.
I mean, no, like for the movie, it's accurate, especially since we talked about the Taylor already.
The Predatorial Taylor, yeah. Very fitting for the movie.
Hmm.
Rewind. Deadpool and Wolverine was the sixth highest grossing opening day movie of all time with 96 million and the highest for an R-rated film, which is I mean, like
That's a lot.
who did it beat out, you ask? Oh my god, I need to choose my words wisely if I'm not going to enunciate correctly. Who did the movie beat out, you ask? It was Deadpool 2. So
Deadpool 2.
yeah. Uh it was expected, especially when you introduce Wolverine.
Yup.
It was higher than Inside Out 2 at 62 million, even though it being the highest grossing animated film of all time, seeing over 1 billion in just 19 days. So
Not bad.
Not it's been a good month for the cinema and Marvel fans, Deadpool fans, especially. Um I can't wait for what's to come.
Yeah.
And we've already gotten like some news, some pretty big news. You guys don't know, San Diego Comic-Con just happened, and holy shit, like
Biggest reveal.
I wanted to go last year. I was like, I'm going to San Diego Con soon. I should go next year. I was like, you know what? A couple months went by. I was like, I'll go next year.
Yeah.
This should have been the year.
Yeah,
This
because
should
now
have
we're
been
like,
the year.
well, why go next year? How are you gonna beat this?
Yeah. Well, going next year because we're all nerd entertainment and we have to go.
This is true.
But so that should be our second trip plan for next year. And that's closer to you, so it's easier for you.
That's true. That's true.
But while there, they announced the casting for Doom.
And
It was none other
too
than
perfect.
Sir Robert Downey Jr. himself. And everyone
back.
was like,
Yup. Dude, they showed the video of like Florence Pugh was at the Deadpool like Wolverine like carpet show or something like that, and someone like showed her that he revealed his face as the new like Doctor Doom, and she just like
she is all of us.
yeah, dude, like and truly like what a perfect person to do it because like Doom and Iron Man might as well be the same person It's just one is evil, one is good.
I mean, honestly, when you think about all the geniuses in the super brains and all the in the Marvel universe, you think of Reed Richards, Iron Man, Doom, and you can throw Peter Parker in there as well. You can throw Peter
Yeah,
in there. It's a fucking
yeah.
genius. Fucking genius. Maybe not on their level, but I mean, they gotta make some webs.
And like, I
But
mean, Doctor Doom, like he is, I think he's supposed to be the smartest person in the MCU universe.
let's put it into perspective for everybody. Not being an avid, you know, champion of comic books. I mean, I love comic books. I ride and put the pedestal up for comic books.
Mm.
I just, didn't grow up reading comic books as much as I wanted to, but reading is the way, my friend. Reading is the way, whether it's comics or regular books.
This is the way.
I still gravitated towards Doctor Doom because I mean he's got that cool as green cape and cloak, and he's a evil genius. But the one thing you realize throughout the Marvel universe is like he is a constant, despite not getting all the recognition on the screens and stuff. Like he is a constant in the Marvel world, no matter like which timeline you look at. At some point he comes into play and very heavily, and then in multiple timelines in comics, Doom is, either a god, a president, the ruler of worlds and things like that. He's always going to make his entry into that timeline at some point or another.
Right.
And so this was only inevitable.
Yeah, right. No, I 100% agree. Because especially like I feel like Fantastic Four, since that's his main like arch enemy group, I think that group 100% deserves this like third chance. Because the we talked about it, Chris Evans showing up, that was a great cameo, but though that first movie itself and then the next one with Silver Surfer were weak. They truly were. And then you had the really, really sad attempt with like Miles Teller and Michael B. Jordan. Like, it's time that this group gets their time in the sun again. Because damn, that like they're so cool. Like looking at that story, I saw the old cartoon growing up as a kid, and that just held a special place in my heart. Because also, like, it's like, how do you not enjoy the thing? Like,
Yeah.
he's such a, like, he's a guy that goes through the biggest struggle, I think, of them all, where his change is like obviously the more physically different one.
Yeah.
And he has to deal with that struggle of looking like the human rock.
Yeah.
But yeah, finally being able to see like Doctor Doom get this type of treatment is just so cool. And plus, we also had MC Doom, who paid tribute to Doctor Doom on a regular basis. So being able to do that for him too, in that sense, because obviously he's passed, and that was a big loss for music and entertainment community. So I think I personally like to think they did it for him. Did they? Probably not, but it makes me feel good on the inside.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Before we get on about this segment, I do want to talk about one thing is like just the crybabies, the people who will always, and I mean always, find something to complain about, no matter what it is. I mean, the movie could actually be shit, but it doesn't matter. We won't have to watch the movie for, these crybabies to start, bitching about it. Like as soon as Robert Downey Jr. was announced, all these people are up in arms and desperation, BS money grab, Hollywood just like unoriginal and not being able to write.
Like, how does that make sense? He died. Like,
it's
this is literally the company that helped bring the multiverse back into like the forefront. So if you think that there's some multiverse where he isn't Doctor Doom, like, go away.
Yeah, I'm just gonna call these people the CBHC committee.
CBHC committee. I like it.
Or
I like it.
or the CBHC, the Crybaby Hater Committee. Because like I said, like they already have these complaints locked and loaded for no matter what's going to be said or whatever they announce, without even like trying or doing one little quick Google search.
Yeah.
Reading one little book. Because like I said, not an avid comic book reader, or I wasn't growing up. I'm an avid reader right now. Give us 1 second. We'll be right back, guys.
We'll be back.
Word. Welcome back, nerds. And before we left, we were discussing Crybaby Hater Committee. They're always ready to jump and be all up in arms every time there's an announcement for something they love and cherish and remember fondly from their youth. They always do that before they actually like read and know what's going on. Because like me,
Of course,
like I said, wasn't an avid comic book reader. Not as much as I wanted to, not as much as I loved the actual superheroes, because I just didn't have the opportunity really to get as much comic books as I wanted. But the one thing I don't do when something sounds weird to me, I don't just start bitching and voicing my opinion on it when I myself am ignorant in the subject. So what I
almost
did,
like
what's up?
I was saying it's almost just like the rest of the world could probably learn from that.
Yeah, it's not like I'm some kind of like prophet or anything. I think that's just how I should usually be, right?
I mean, you could be. We don't
when
know.
you don't know something, you probably should like learn about it if you want to voice your opinion on it. You don't have to,
Right.
but you also
But
don't have to voice your opinion on it.
Yeah, but just do us all a favor.
So what I did while I was working today, because I drive a lot, I went ahead and like read most of Secret Wars. And
That's
like
a
trying to
good
figure
one.
out like why are they going this route. I listened to a bunch of different like YouTube videos on like different scenarios and things. And the one thing what I learned while I was doing this is like one thing, not even just doing this, like with other movies and stuff too. People don't pay attention to exposition at all. Like at all. Like especially with movies like with like superheroes and like multiverses and stuff. Exposition is like key. You have to pay attention to what's going on and what's being said and like who's popping up. And then like somebody that pops up and just disappears real quick. Like, remember that person? Remember, he may come back. That might have been something. Never forget. You're just thunder gunning your way through the entire Marvel universe. It's like I'll come back for you and you never remember. You never come back. You never come back. You just talk shit. So like when I say pay attention to exposition, what have they been doing? What have they announced? What's going on in the Marvel universe? What's the last thing you've seen? What's the last show? What's the shows that's been coming out on Disney? We don't even have to get that deep. Just some things that's happened recently. Deadpool 3, the announcement of Fantastic Four, and talks of recasting T'Challa.
Yeah.
Like, if you just do a little bit of research, spend a little bit of time, if you care this much and talk this much shit about, what Hollywood is making or ruining for you, it's like, read some shit.
Yeah.
And the one reason why I never really got mad at any of this stuff that we see on the Marvel or the MCU.
Mm.
Is because I know that comic books, there are so many different timelines, so many different scenarios, like just different versions of characters and events that just constantly take place. So when you see them do something crazy, like when you were young and you turned on Fresh Prince and Aunt Viv was light skinned.
Mm.
It's like
Yeah.
it's like it's kind of a similar thing, but like when it happens in the Marvel universe, like
It's
why are
pretty
you
planned out.
doing it? Like don't like get mad. Just be like, what's going on here?
Well,
What are you setting up? Like exposition. Like
be excited for the unknown. Like don't get angry about it.
and then not even unknown. It's like, with me and my mom, my stepmom, I always say I have two moms. My stepmom, we used to do this all the time, watching Law and Order and Criminal Minds. And she was the best at it, trying to guess, who
Mm.
did it,
Who
clue type
done
shit,
did?
clue type shit. So like when you see like an announcement like that, I'm like, ooh, let me guess and see if I can get it right. What's gonna happen? You know?
What's the
And
word? What's the haps?
yeah, they with those three announcements and like those two announcements in Deadpool 3, it's like it took me literally like one day of like looking it up and like I kind of see what's about to happen.
Yeah.
So you guys should just go ahead and like buy Secret Wars, you know, and read up on that shit from Secret Wars on. Just keep
Yeah.
going. I'm it's a
Yeah.
lot of
If
stuff. I
you're
don't want to do a
if
lot
you're
of
looking to
spoilers.
start, if you're looking to start, now's the time.
Exactly. I mean, what I did, what I did? I was like, what comics do I need to be hip on? What's the haps in order to know what's going on for this Doomsday movie and why they're choosing Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
And I listened to a couple different things. Secret Wars was the last one, but the infamous Iron Man, which was like a what if thing, I believe that was. And then there was another one. I forgot the name of it. Oh, it was fun.
Yeah. Again, like you got to make sure you're not going on like into things with too much ambiguity because you're just gonna ruin it for yourself and you're gonna ruin it for everybody else. And then you're gonna have the both of us yelling at you. And if that's what you want, fine, but like pay us.
I mean, I'll do it. I'll
Yeah,
yell at you for
I'll
money.
yell at you all day.
But I mean, I'm excited. It's gonna
Yeah,
be
yeah, no, like the MCU is going in a better direction because, especially after how like Ant-Man, everything else kind of flopped there in between. Obviously, we still had like great shows like Loki to look forward to and stuff like that, but
exposition.
this is truly like because of like Deadpool Wolverine and how well it went. It should help out a lot. Don't get me wrong. I don't think every Marvel movie should do a lot of fourth wall breaking. Just because it doesn't work with every
That's
character.
strictly Deadpool's thing.
Yes.
If Deadpool's not in the movie,
So
do
like
not break
hopefully
no
they don't try to
walls.
run with that too much.
You
Don't do
can break three walls,
it.
but don't break a fourth wall.
Yeah, no, like we're not here for you. Don't do that. But yeah, this is a good time. It's making their not that it was ever really like a true fall off. And I guess you can not. I don't know if this is really a comeback, but that's just the word that's coming to my mind.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's I can say it only so many times. I'm excited. But what else is happening? What's been happening? What's the haps?
What's the haps, ladies and gentlemen? Let us tell you. Like for example, obviously we have the Olympics going on right now.
Hmm.
Um, I have never seen so many people angry about an opening ceremony where they're making fun of Christianity. Like, no.
Like
It's like if you looked at literally every single character out there, they're all Greek gods, which is more related to what the Olympics is based off.
I mean, it's so American, isn't it?
I wouldn't say okay. Yeah, yeah, that's fair. It's
It's
that
like this is
that
obviously about us.
yeah, like
Let's get
that's the
mad.
most like privileged white shit I've seen. And the fact that also that they're like they have these fat drag queens out there too. Like, oh, I'm sorry about your delicate sensibilities. Like, but who are you to talk?
Because you're so pure.
Yeah, like listen, like I can only imagine what you have locked in your basement. So like, let's take a breather here.
Just tonight, I'm cleaning out my closet.
But I mean, besides that whole dumpster fire of people just being angry for the sake of being angry, obviously it's great to see all these athletes coming together and stuff. Um, and like also just watching a lot of these sports that aren't really even a hit in the United States because it's super cool that breakdancing has been included in
Oh
the
man,
Olympics
that
this
that
year.
was awesome. I'm just
Yeah.
mad. I'm just mad that it's like a one timer.
Yep.
It's like it's going to be in this year, and so far it's not going to be in next year's Olympics. Who knows if they like want to do it like every 3 Olympics, which would be weird every 12 years.
Yeah, that'd be a tough one to keep up with, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it's like man, you're losing. It's like you only get one generation, one breakdancer from each generation.
mm.
It's like you can't breakdance forever, at
Yeah,
least not at the
listen.
same level.
I mean, unless you're the Jabberwockies, then I guess you're immortal.
Oh, that's the thing. Yeah, they got the mask, so
Yeah,
apparently they've been the same Jabberwockies.
apparently none of them have ever changed at all.
But they got a much larger crew because they have like a school or whatever now.
Yeah.
Or I think they teach dancing at a university or something like that. I can't remember. But getting off topic, whatever topic, Olympics. Yes, I've been enjoying Olympics as well. Congratulations to U.S. women's in rugby.
Yeah, killing it.
That
And
was
for
pretty.
all the very uncomfortable with themselves men out there that are like, oh, like these women are too butch. Like,
That one girl was like Derrick Henry.
dude, like, and
Just blasted people,
fire, just fire. Like it's so cool. I and her TikTok account is so funny. She is a truly funny person. So it's like get just again, you're part of that community we mentioned earlier. Just go away. Just like you're
and speaking of Olympics, people, I know it's summertime. We don't have much going on. Not much sports. We got baseball. Women's basketball is still on their break, which seems like it's been forever. Yeah, we got a lot of things going on, or nothing really going on. So like, let's not make a whole lot of something out of nothing.
right.
Like Jason Tatum not playing. Like this is kind of why, like Derek White was chosen. Despite y'all thinking Nike may have had something to do with it, I don't know if it's really that serious.
No.
But like people getting all up in arms because Jason Tatum didn't play. This is the old man team, guys. Unless you're 7 feet tall, this is the old man team. Like it's like you got LeBron James, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant. If all three of them are healthy, they're definitely going to get their minutes.
Right. And like it's one of those things too where you got to remember every single one of these players is a star for a team. So if Steve Kerr doesn't manage their minutes well, doesn't sit them and constantly plays them, especially against teams that are different countries, this is their first time to truly like make an impact. You never know what people's attitudes are going to be. You don't know how hard they're going to play. And there's also the adjustments of the rules. It's not the same as the NBA. They play more along the lines of like the European leagues. And also, like, let's truly think back to when Michael and Scotty were playing in the Olympics. Like when those two played, they played against somebody on their team, and he was threatening to not like making threats, but he was like in a strong position to potentially take Scotty's starting position for the Bulls. Michael and Scotty didn't appreciate that, so they just went off and humiliated this dude. Like, and this is before minute management and stuff like that, but it was also tough on them because they're still playing against their teammate, and now all of a sudden there's just a lot of hatred from both ends. So let's think about this. We like you have Jokic, you have like all these other players out there that are from these European countries playing against some of their teammates or playing against people that they're going to be seeing all the time. So, do you really want to give them more fuel? No, like we want to be competitive and we want to do it right. So, I think Steve Kerr is handling this as well as he can.
I mean, like, again, when you get pretty much all superstars, everyone's not gonna play.
Yeah.
It's impossible. And that's why they get people that are fringe superstars like Derek White. You know, I
Mhm.
mean, like the biggest complaint you could have would be, well, Devin Booker got a shit ton of minutes that night.
That's true. Yep.
I believe, I mean, I could be proven wrong going forward. It's just that I believe it's like it on nights like that, especially in those positions, Devin Booker and Jason Tatum, it's going to be one of them. And also,
Yeah.
Jason Tatum is 6'10". Like he's more of the forward. Like especially in the Olympics,
Mhm.
he's more of a forward. So you got Kevin Durant in front of him. Like it's just
Yeah, and like
coaching and math. Like
yeah,
just who it's up to the coach, and the coach should not be persecuted for those decisions because
yeah.
somebody's going to sit.
And plus, other players are going to play better with other players, and some of them don't play well together. Because again, a lot of these guys perform when they have the ball. But like we're talking about, you have Derek White, you have Drew Holiday who can perform without the ball. So if you have too many people that need the ball to make a difference on the same team at the same time, it's just not going to work.
But then again, it also brings back why, like, I think certain players are not as legendary as other players because, like, yeah, the Olympics should always be the best of the best, unless you make it a certain way where it's like, okay, we should keep the Olympics, Olympic basketball, we should keep everybody under the age of 25. And we just keep the best of the 25 and under. But since it's not like that, you get the best of the best. And the best
Yep.
of the best should learn how to adapt to other players and adapt to different roles, i.e., like LeBron. He doesn't need the ball in his hand, but he is very, very efficient with the ball in his hand. And
He's
because he's the
scary.
best player in the world, he will have the ball in his hands because he always knows what to do. And like Steph
Yeah.
Curry, he can have the ball in his hand or not. Honestly, I
Yep.
think he prefers not to have the ball in his hand. So
Just
he
yeah.
run around, does his thing. Kevin Durant, he can play with anyone in the world. Does not need the ball in his hand. Honestly, Anthony Davis also doesn't need the ball in his hand. Honestly, he should probably
He
isn't
should be sitting more. He
he's
get hurt a
no
lot.
yeah, but he's been very good, especially for the U.S. team.
Oh
So
yeah.
like, and he's been good with his injuries. Last year he was really good. The year before he was better than he has been, but he was still pretty injured. But even Anthony Davis, he could be better with the ball in his hand, but he's perfectly fine not having the ball in his hand and still getting his. And then sometimes he's hot, so you give him the ball and he's able to do stuff.
Yep.
And then you get to Joel Embiid. I
Joel.
hate to say it, but God, man, it's not looking good.
Nope.
Not looking good. I don't like his attitude. I don't like the way he's playing. I don't even like the fact that he was there. And I wasn't expecting like his attitude to be one of the problems of him being there also. I was just worried about him getting injured.
Right.
But He's also being a tremendous crybaby.
Which, I mean, I feel like that's just his MO at this point. Like, I know he's still a great player, league MVP potential, but
ever since James Harden got there, like his attitude changed. Granted, it might not just be James Harden, it might be because everybody was telling him to be more serious, and then he stopped being a clown, and like now he's like not really that likable.
No, he truly isn't.
And I love the guy. I know who he is. I think he's going through some things, you know, mentally, emotionally, you know, and so like he's used to being a clown. So like when someone like him is going through things, he says a lot of crazy things that are sarcastic as hell and like, you know, exaggerated and blown out of exaggerated by him and then blown out of proportion by others because like, you know, it sounds wild the way he's saying it for like what's going on. He's not really being too serious.
Right. But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know if he'll be able to make that type of recovery, and I obviously we all hope he does, but
yeah, I
like,
mean, honestly,
what can you do
before last season? Going into last season, I was like I said, when we lost in the playoffs, you know, we were eerily accepting of that loss.
Yeah, it was almost
like because like we had that pre-recognition that, you know, we don't expect him to play the entire playoffs, and he did, but he was also he had one eye, he had one leg,
and I think carrying a team so long by himself has also made it harder for him because there's been all the pressure in the world on him. Also, like what his first 2 years in the league basically didn't play.
Yeah.
And, you know, all of a sudden from going to that to basically becoming
but he's never
basically
really
the best center in the league.
I'll say he's carried a team by himself one season.
That's fair.
I feel like 1 or 2 seasons because, you know, he did have a decent season, one decent season out of Ben Simmons. He had a good season.
There's a waste of a player. Sorry.
He had a good season, a great season with James Harden. It was just the playoffs. He had a great season with James Harden. Great season.
They just couldn't operate when it mattered.
But also before James Harden, Tyrese Maxey had started budding. And so like Tyrese Maxey doesn't take any days off unless he's injured. So like he's had help. True. He's never been by himself. It's just that he's never. This was the first playoffs like where he was like he missed very few games.
Yeah.
And he's
but yeah.
So it's literally just injury and then unlucky teammates.
Yeah, that's truly fair. But again, he's a crybaby right now on the Olympic team.
It's not looking good.
Yeah, it's not looking good.
He's not good at he's not good at Olympic basketball, which is weird.
Yeah, like
I mean, it makes sense because he's kind of a flopper. You know, he's used to
100%.
He's used to like, you know, 15 free throws a night minimum. So
that's not the case here. Nope. There's a reason Luka and Doncic or Luka and Jokic are as good as they are.
Well, also because they actually play pro ball.
Yeah, and they were playing at a real young age.
Yeah, Luka especially, like he's very, very used to this. He's probably the most used to this out of everyone.
Yep. But hey, but still, overall, Olympics are going well.
Yeah.
Congrats again to the women's gymnastic team for just rocking it. I mean, it's Simone Biles. Did you see that her like jumps while she was doing her floor routine? 12 feet high. That is taller than Wemby.
She broke her own record.
Yeah, like she can jump over Wemby like it's nothing.
Amazing. Yeah, who can jump over LeBron? Can even do that.
Like, yeah, it's
not
wild.
A single football player that can do that.
Wild, but good on you, sister. Damn, like it's
amazing. Yeah, Congratulations to everybody. Congratulations to the men's gymnastics team for getting bronze, for notoriously being shit.
Yeah, y'all stepped up real good, especially the Harry Potter kid.
Don't let anybody say you shouldn't be celebrating that hard for bronze.
Yeah,
because it's kind of like Baker Mayfield making the Cleveland Browns good.
Yeah,
or not even good, just going to the playoffs twice.
Yeah, but
yeah. Also, something else that's been happening: NCAA has ruined our lives once again, and we.
it feels so good. It's just better to have. Life is just better with it. Because let me tell you, this plays better than any Madden game, even though it's basically a Madden game. It's just college, and like just it's truly like the college environment and like some of the traditions that they throw in there that just that just makes the difference. Like the feeling that all of us like can like probably relate to. If you've ever been to like a college game, or if you've gone to college and you're like cheering for your team, especially amongst like the student section where things can get really wild, it's that nostalgia is nice.
Yeah. I mean, look, did my coaching thing, Charlotte 49ers. They went 14-0.
Hey-oh.
One national title, coach of the year.
No big deal.
I have a bunch of awards.
I did Wisconsin, and I should have done Ohio State. That's all I cared about, and I did it. So
I didn't have to win another game except for that one.
Yeah, I truly was like, this is the only one that matters. I need to knock this team out, and I did, and it made me feel good.
Nice. I'm doing Road to Glory now with creating a quarterback. So
it's fun. It is fun. Heisman is tough. Heisman level, real tough.
Yeah. Why? I don't even know why you're doing that. I'm here to have fun.
Because why not torture myself just a little bit, little bit.
That's not fun. Maybe after I win 5 championships, I'll do that.
Maybe.
Because it's also weird to me because like I don't play any different when I'm playing against a person if I play Heisman all the time. Like I don't. I usually play up to my opponent.
Right.
Because I'm not that good in football games. Like give me 2K, I'm smoking it right. But Madden, I'm actually pretty good at NCAA though. I'm not as bad as I am in
Madden. But yeah, man, it's good to have that back. It really is. It's taken up so much of my time.
As it is everybody else. I do want to circle back to San Diego Comic-Con because I did forgot to mention some other announcements that was there. So Gen V Season 2.
Yes, dude.
That has been announced. I was like a little worried because, after their loss, you never know what's going to happen with a show with a prominent character like that.
Right.
Losing their life in the middle of a show that's being, filmed and things like that. But it's back. I'm excited. Gen V proved to be just as entertaining as The Boys.
Yeah.
But then again, the last season of The Boys came out and you're like, whoa, there's nothing as good as this.
Dude. that show forever pushes boundaries and it just impresses. Good on Amazon for picking that up. They just win. They just win
all the time. Also from the world of The Boys, Vought Rising was announced.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, another spinoff. Bring back the Jensen Ackles Soldier Boy and Aya Cash as Stormfront. So it's prequel.
And I think out of everybody, like those two getting a prequel is just awesome.
Yeah.
Like Soldier Boy is such a weird, like not even weirdly, but he's such a compelling character.
Yeah.
Like just through and through. They're like, I don't care how you feel about him. Anytime he's on the screen, you're just like focused. You're immediately like, what?
Who's more messed up in the head, him or Homelander?
No, Homelander still in my mind is still more messed up because, dear God, it's
I
like
don't know. I don't know. Soldier Boy got that old 1950s stuff going on in his head, and then
that's
also
true.
also like travel through time like Captain America.
Yeah, that's true. And like, I think that's the more realistic version of what Captain really probably should have been. But
But you know, he refrained from killing people. Soldier Boy got gruesome deaths on his hands.
yeah, but the mommy issues with Homelander is just
His desire to be loved and
yeah, true enough.
his love of milk. Yeah, he's a little okay. Homelander.
Yeah, yeah, 100% Homelander. But
All
yeah,
day.
they've been knocking it out of the park with those two series. And hell, speaking of Amazon, Vox Machina season 3 is going to be coming out here pretty soon. They just released the trailer. It looks so much fun. Man, like again, Amazon killing it with their shows because then also, obviously, Invincible, the newest season's been done for a bit, but like obviously they're getting ready to start the new one. And God, man, like yeah,
Oh,
Amazon has been knocking it out of the park.
uh, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, Rings of Power season 2 will be coming out here pretty quick. And again, we have a bunch of people from the Crybaby community. They're like, "Oh, it wasn't good. It wasn't this. It wasn't that." It's like,
I
well,
wasn't a part of the crybaby community. I was a part of the. All right, come on now. I understand, you know, plot building and things like that, character development, but God, come on. There was not an episode I did not fall asleep on. Not one.
no, understandable. Like it's a lot of talking. It's a lot of politics.
Also,
So if
I am old, so it's not that hard. But come on, God, come on.
but hey, this new season is looking like it's more about battles and what the people want to see.
They get into the money.
Mm-hmm. But then more
they House a Dragon in it.
Yeah, no, that's House of Dragon. Oh, so
I kind of like the idea of like every show having a button. So like your show's going up, like your show starts off great, you know, high pilot episode, and then like a lot of boring shit, and they start losing viewers. Every show should have a button that says House of Dragons button or release the dragons, and like they hit it, and then just like just one episode they had just in case they needed to. They didn't want to use it because they didn't want to use all the money, but like, all right, release that episode.
Let it happen.
Release the Kraken.
But God, yeah, no, I'm excited to see this new season. Uh, they had like a couple actors drop out and they replaced them, so it's one of those things too where you'll be able to tell the difference, but it will probably only help the show in the long run. But yeah, no, and speaking of shows, this is away from Amazon, surprisingly enough, but we also have the Terminator anime coming out with Netflix. And ooh, dude, the stills that they've released, I'm like, this is so perfect. Like it's basically like the animation style of the more recent like Gundams. And that's probably my favorite style. Like I understand like the appeal of probably some of the other stuff where it's a little bit more like pastel-y or bright. Like I mean, perfect example is X-Men. Like X-Men 97. That is a very brightly animated show, very like comic booky, but it fits it. And I think this style that they picked for Terminator Zero fits it just as well. So yeah, I'm excited to see this. Especially since it's going to truly be about like the resistance and like John Connor making decisions and stuff like that, which, you know, you see a little bit in some of the movies, but it's very lacking on like truly him as a character and like what he's like meant to be for the, I guess, their present and for the future. And also the past.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that looks That looks really, really good. I can't wait to check that out too.
Oh yeah. Nice. Uh Circling back to San Diego Con again. They actually announced for all you murder fans out there, especially a particular killer, Dexter. Dexter is back. Dexter Resurrection was announced, and Dexter Resurrection, if I'm not mistaken, that would be like it is present day following of the killer with Dexter narrating the whole thing, pretty much kind of like how it was.
Mhm.
So like he would only what was his name, Corey? Not Corey.
No, that's you.
Yeah, no, he has the same last name as me, Paul. Always forget his first name. But yeah, that's you won't see his face, but his voice will be in the show. And then they announced another spinoff called Dexter Original Sin, and that would be a prequel, basically following
Michael C. Hall.
Michael C. Hall. It was the C that made me think of
The
my
C.
own Corey Hall, not me.
I mean, you're famous. We already know
it. I wish I was famous.
That just seems like a lot of pressure. Anyways,
But yeah, not for me, my guy.
Not for me. But speaking like of that series, I will say I'm probably a little bit more on the crybaby side. Like I understand they had to do what they had to do, but the way that series ended just left a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth. And they tried to revamp it. I not even watched the revamp, but I'm ready. I'm willing to give it another go. I'm excited for like the prequel because I think watching him grow up is just such a it's a the thing the show itself is missing out on a lot. And like I say, especially you could even like relating it to like times today where you're forgetting like you forget that like a lot of these people start off as kids that have like these dark thoughts and it's not really being caught early. But in this case, it technically was caught early and it was like focused, but not truly in the best and healthy way. But hey, I'm excited for this take on it. It should be good. It should be very, very like on point, especially with Michael C. Hall still doing the voiceover narration of like his inner thoughts.
Yeah, so he's basically going to do it on both. So
Yeah.
I'm like I said, I'm not too mad at the last season because I didn't finish it. So I was like, okay, not for me.
It's one of those things where wait,
But
when you
I'm
finish it,
down to see them. I like to see people try to save it, and then if they don't, I won't finish it again.
yeah. But hey, we might as well keep talking about some cool stuff that's coming out for all of you Batman fans. Hold on. Yeah? What? No? Okay. Uh, but yeah, for all of the Batman fans out there, there is going to be a new Batman Cape Crusader animated series coming out. And it looks solid. Like it's kind of like bringing things back to again when like Batman is first starting out, so before he really has like a lot of his high-tech stuff, it's very much like the simplistic suit and just his martial arts. So this should be a very fun series to dive into too. God, we got a lot of like fun series to look forward to. I'm pumped.
Another big year for the screens, cinematic and your television.
But hey,
streaming services.
We don't have to rely on Hollywood that much anymore. A lot of these streaming companies are like, we'll figure it out. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm ready.
Oh yeah. And without further ado, we are going to end the Nerdcast podcast on that note.
Good night, everybody. It's
Appreciate
been a pleasure talking again.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, nerds, for coming out. We will catch you guys next time.
Good night.
Peace.
Peace.